So I just finished a training ride indoors, and this afternoon, I got a comment on one of my Facebook videos that's doing quite well. It got a lot of views, and is drawing attention, which is a good thing. Because who am I kidding? I'm not doing this for, I'm doing this for my ego and for my own entertainment and other people's entertainment. But that said, it's getting attention, and more importantly, it got attention from someone whom I hadn't heard from in a long time, and was happy to not hear from that person. And it made me remember, it all comes back to me thinking about my journey in sport. And as a 54-year-old, talking about my journey in sports sounds kind of funny. And why my journey why I appreciate it and why I love it is I didn't start late until very late in life. And I decided to pick a discipline, track cycling, that had, a discipline and a sub-discipline, a discipline that had a very sharp learning curve, and a sub-discipline in that discipline that had the sharpest of all curves, match sprinting. And in case you don't know, and most people don't know, track cycling only happens on a track. It doesn't happen on a road, and there's very few velodromes in the United States, let alone ones that are readily accessible to me in Washington, D.C. The closest one I have is in Trexlertown, Pennsylvania, and that's 3.5 hours away. And so if you do the math, that's 7 hours of driving, of just driving alone, going to and from. And when I started this steep learning curve, I was a father. I still am a father. I was a business owner. I still am a business owner. I was a husband. I still am a husband. And it was and still am a single business owner whose primary business is in the summertime, which my sports peak is at the peak of the summer. So you add all these things in, and my trajectory going into track cycling, if you were to guess what it would be either flat or crater into the ground, and there's no way he could do what he wants to do. But I didn't give up. And that said, as I came into the sport, knowing that the learning curve in match sprinting was as steep as it was, I looked for mentors. And here's the thing, is my discipline, my sub-discipline, match sprinting, at the time, was the most testosterone-fueled discipline of them all, and there were a lot of egos. And here's the thing, it's quien es más macho, and it was a huge turnoff, I have to admit that, massive turnoff. But here's the silver lining in that, is I saw what there was out there, and I knew what I wanted to do if I ever got a chance to change the sport. And here I am, over a decade later, and I'd like to think I've changed the sport from within. And I am probably the most consistent rider to show up, especially in the United States, flat out in track cycling, masters track cycling. Very few people, I can't hardly think of anyone who's had their nose on the grindstone for as long as I have. So any of the achievements I've achieved, I'd like to think were well worth it. But the thing I'm most proud of is how I changed the sport within. I made it as welcoming as possible, because I saw people who didn't make it at the welcoming, that frankly didn't have very good sportsmanship, made this discipline seem like it was not inclusive at all. And I'm not talking about DEI or anything like that. I'm talking about just making it available to other people who are willing to learn. Clearly, someone who's been working hard at this for over a decade is someone willing to learn. And I've made it a point since that moment when I first rolled into the track and tried to get my bearings and tried to get a lay of the land and what I was trying to do and what I was up against, I had in the back of my mind, not knowing where this was going to end, but I had in the back of my mind, Will, if you had a shot, these are the things you would change. And like I said, I would like to think I have been 120% successful in that. If it's not in my social media, it's how I behave actually in person. And I get that all the time, and people just feel at ease with me because they think they do know me, because the person you see on camera, on video, is the person I am in real life. Otherwise, it's too exhausting. And that said, that's what that list I had in the back of my mind back in 2010. It's 2025 now. I thought, this is what I would like to do. I'd like for someone to, I would like for me to be able, someone like me, to roll and walk into the track, be completely confused and nervous and anxious, and have someone reach out and make me feel comfortable. And I've done that time and time again, to the point now it's second nature. And I actually had to think about what this was, because this person who was one of the few in the handful of people I've met over the years that was in that group, and he left a comment in one of my videos, and it just brought back this flood of memories. Negative initially, but in the end they were positive, because I've made a change. I've made my discipline and my sub-discipline as welcoming as possible, and more importantly, I demonstrated sportsman-like behavior, which I did not see from this person ever. And his comments his comments now, 20 and 2025, echo exactly what I felt then, and it just reassures me that my judge of character was accurate. So that said, the point of this video is, if you ever find yourself in a position like I was, you're coming into something new, you're excited about it, you're enthusiastic about it, but you see things you don't like, make a list of that. Either write it down, put it in a journal, or just make a mental note. Hopefully it doesn't burn such a bad thought in your head that you can remember it 15 years later. And make a change. That's the power you have, is that you can make a change, and especially if you can do it from within. And you lead by example. That's the most powerful way of making change, leading by example. Do as I say. And don't do like my dad. Do as I say, not as I do. So that's what this video is about. You can make a change, and you can make a lasting change, because I talk about this all the time, is the ripple effect you have in this universe. In a pond, you toss that stone, that goodwill stone, and you can see the ripples. You can see the atmosphere that you created. That's why I love going to the track, because I know I helped create or shape the atmosphere it is now. That it's this welcoming place, that you can lose a national championship to your friend, and you're congratulating him before you even cross the finish line, and you can hang out and you're best of friends for life. That's what I want. I don't want this thing is like win. It's like War Masters. We're not professionals. I want friends out of this, and that's what and this is one of the mentalities. And then I'll leave it this. Coming into this sport is like win. You get the most suspect behavior. Unsportsmanlike behavior, cheating, flat out cheating, making it an unwelcome culture, because frankly, the smaller you make the culture, the less competition you have, and then the bigger chance you have of winning. And but I've made it to the point where, like, this is why, like, I share all this stuff, and I've wondered for years, like, well, why are you sharing all of this? And because I'd like to think it helps people, you know. I can give away my secrets, but you still have to do the work. And I work really hard. And if you can repeat the work, hey, props to you. And the stuff I do is not state secrets. And I'd like to have everything out in the light. That way no one wonders, like, how did Will do it? Because we don't know how Will trains. Like, well, you do know, because I share practically everything, even what I eat. So that's the thing. So you're welcome track cycling. And I'm going to continue to be a good ambassador. And that's not hubris for me to say that, because I know I'm a good ambassador. I've saw these things I didn't like, and I've actively gone out and changed them. So if you can, change them yourself in your discipline, in your life, or whatever, in your sphere of the world. Because this is how we make our lasting impression in the world. This is how we get a legacy. And this is just how we live to be better human beings. And that's all we should strive to be, not a better sports athlete or whatever, just better human beings. Thanks for watching.